there, YouTube land and also social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're doing a movie review of a film that came out a couple weeks ago and is a sequel to a movie that just came out last year that is a sequel to two films that came out over 20 years ago. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you miss this video and any other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check them out on the social media platform, such as X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Blue Sky, X. I pretty much post in these regularly, so definitely check them out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome on and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out a couple weeks ago and is a sequel to a sequel that came out last year and also a sequel to several films that came out over 20 years ago called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Yeah, 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Yeah. So this is the sequel to 28 Years Later, which came out last June, and is a direct sequel to that, but also a sequel to the other two 28 years, days and weeks later films that came out in 2002 and 2008, respectively. And this film is definitely, I thought, better than 28 Years Later. I liked this one a little more. I thought it was a little more interesting. I thought it was better directed. I thought it was better written. And overall, I thought it was just a better film that just was more entertaining. I felt that the value of this one was more entertaining and more interesting and just all around a better type of film. And I just preferred this film because it did focus a lot more on Ralph Fiennes' character versus the first film did. And I think that the whole gang thing where Alfie Williams gets stuck with, I think was really interesting and I thought was a great aspect of the film. And, of course, our main, antagonist, he's an amazing character too. That was really fun to watch and enjoy throughout the film as well. And so I just think overall this film just entertained me more and gave me more of a thought process to enjoy this film a little better than the first film was, the one that came out last year anyways. And I thought that it was a comparable, interesting, different take that had a lot of interesting things they added that really bring this franchise to a whole new level. And I thought that they did a good job with that. So this film is none other directed by a lady that goes by the name of Miss Nia DaCosta. Oh yeah, Nia DaCosta. Woo, Nia DaCosta, yeah! So Nia DaCosta, you might recognize from the last few years. She's kind of became a big name in directing and producing. And I think that, overall she's a pretty decent director. She directed really great films and she's directed things and produced things that have been very interesting and fun. And I think that she did a good job with this film. I think that she brought the essence of what the last film brought, but added on top of that and made it really more entertaining. I liked the approach she took with it because she really did go for the, more of the zombie aspect of this film. She gave it more action, I felt. She gave it more in depth, and I think she also just provided some interesting aspects that really made it even more horror-y than the last film. And I did enjoy how they really, how good she did with the action sequences throughout this film, because there's some really great action sequences that happen in this film, especially one of the ones where the main, alpha zombie is having to fight all the other zombies and going through that train, which was really freaking awesome. And she did a great job of getting a great aspect and great view and shots of that, and having the zombies being thrown through the windows and stuff like that. That just was really fun and worked out really well. And I just really enjoyed it and thought she did a great job of directing that and giving us a really solid, sequel that, like I said, I felt was more entertaining than the first film. But also why I really liked the eye she brought to the film, because I thought she definitely took it to a couple different levels than the last one did, where she really focused on certain areas in the in the area that we hadn't seen in the previous film, and then also we got to see a little more of a more centered piece of different aspects of the characters we were introduced to in the last film. And she did a good job of bringing that to life and giving us a really great story that I thought worked out very well. Now, if you haven't seen anything Nia DaCosta has directed, definitely a great film to check out of hers is a film she did a few years ago that's a remake of a great 1992 film from the late, great Tony Todd called Candyman! Yeah! Candyman! Yeah! I thought she did an absolute epic job with this Candyman remake. I thought it was a really great remake. The whole thought process was interesting. The whole thought, and take on this new version and bringing it to more of a meta universe and all that kind of stuff was really cool. And I enjoyed what she did with the film because she really took it to kind of like a more of a thriller horror aspect versus just pure horror. And I thought there was a lot of great, dialogue and interesting things leading up to great parts that really introduced the Candyman character and gave us a whole new life to the Candyman, versus the Candyman we were used to with Tony Todd. And I really enjoyed what Nia did with that film too, because she really took what was good in the original film and accentuated it. She did put her own take on it, but she didn't take anything from the original elements that made the original so good, and I did appreciate that, and I thought that she did a good job of incorporating her ideas along with the originals and making a really solid horror film that I thought was really outstanding, and it really showed her great directing ability. If you haven't seen anything Nia DaCosta has directed, definitely check out Candyman. She did a really phenomenal job with it. But overall, I thought that she did a great job with 28 years later, A Bone Temple, and I thought she just did a fantastic job giving us something a little different than the last one and really making it a little more entertaining and more fun. If you haven't seen anything Nia DaCosta has directed, go check out 28 Years Later, Bone Temple in theaters. It's worth a watch. She did a fantastic job. So this movie has a really great cast. I think a lot of the people that are involved with this film did a really great job of bringing it to life, giving us great performances, and just overall really made the film very entertaining and just overall a fun film. And I also appreciated just how everyone really took their characters to a new level from the first film that they were in, and really, basically growing on that, having their characters grow, have their characters go through a different type of space, and kind of showing you and evolving, giving you other aspects that we didn't get to see in the previous film, and they did such a great job with that, and I think all of them did a great job of giving us something fun, entertaining, and just really worked well with Nia DaCosta. Now, to start us off is none other than kind of one of the main characters of the film, Mr. Ralph Fiennes! Oh yeah! Ralph Fiennes! Woo! Ralph Fiennes! Yeah! Ralph Fiennes is such a great actor. Ever since he was in The English Patient to many other things he's done over the years, he's just an awesome actor. He always does a great job portraying his characters, from his portrayal of Voldemort to in The English Patient to Red Dragon to many things he's been in. He always delivers so well. And I thought he was a great choice to add to these movies, and I thought he was a great choice to play this doctor character. And he just really delivered on that great character throughout this film, and I really enjoyed his kind of evolution in this film. We got to see more about kind of what music he listened to, what kind of music he likes, how he kind of views the world, how he views things, and how he's basically trying to figure out things for people to try to help them to combat this virus. And I enjoyed just what Rafe did with that and how he went along and really developed that very well and gave us this really complex character, but that evolved so well from the previous film to this film, giving him a very interesting kind of story arc that I think really plays out very well and is really fun. And I just think Rafe did such a great job of just bringing that to life too as well, and really shining his great dramatic chops, his great kind of comedy chops, and just shining his great elements that he brings to his performances that you just really enjoy. And he really brought that to this character. Now, if you haven't seen anything Rafe has been in, a great film of his I really enjoyed him in, I think is a really underrated film that didn't get enough credit for how fun it was. It's a great film that came out a few years ago called The King's Man. Yeah! The King's Man. Yeah! So this prequel to the Kingsman series, Kingsman and then the Kingsman Gold Circle, is showing us the creation of the Kingsman and how they got started. And Ralph Fiennes plays one of the founding members. And he just is absolutely dynamite in this film. I love his action sequences. He kicks butt. He rocks it. He brings that character to life so well. And I just think he doesn't get enough credit for how awesome he was in that film. And how action-packed his action scenes were. And how just well he really brought together that performance to bring that film to be very entertaining. And another great part of that great franchise. And I just really enjoyed his interactions with everyone throughout that film, and I think the film really shined kind of his action talents and kind of gave him kind of this like really kind of awesome like macho badass kind of action dude that I think really worked well and really shined in that film, and just Rafe was so great in that, and I just think it's a really great performance that he definitely should get kudos for. If you haven't seen Ralph Fiennes anything, definitely check him out in The King's Men. He did a phenomenal job. But overall, I thought he was phenomenal in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. He was absolutely fantastic as the Doctor. I absolutely loved the character, and basically his story arc is a very interesting story arc in this film that he played so well, and I just really enjoyed him throughout this film. If you haven't seen Ralph Fiennes anything recently, go check him out in 28 Years Later, Bone Temple. He was excellent. So that brings me to the next actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film, and that is none other than kind of one of the main protagonists also as well, kind of the bad guy in the film, who basically kidnaps Alfie Williams' character, and that of course is Mr. Jack O'Connell! Oh yeah, Jack O'Connell! Woo! Jack O'Connell! Yeah! So Jack O'Connell is kind of an up-and-coming rising star, I feel. He really has, come a long way from what I've seen him in, and I love just what he brings to his characters, and he's always really interesting. He plays really good bad guys, and at the same time I think that he has a really great bravado about him that just is very entertaining and just plays out really well. And I've enjoyed watching him throughout the films. I've seen him over the years now, and he's been in a few different things, but he really is an up-and-coming really great actor, I feel, and I feel we're going to see a lot of great things from him as time goes on. And eventually I feel we'll see him get some Oscar noms and stuff like that, because he really is a fantastic actor. He feels a lot like Barry Keoghan. I feel he has that kind of mentality, kind of that bravado. I feel that he has some of that kind of greatness that like Mickey Madsen's shown over the last few years and so forth, and he just has a lot of great and a lot of great fun to him, and I just really enjoy his characters that he brings to life, and I think they work really well in the movies that he plays in. Now, when it comes to his character in, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, I really enjoyed where he took it from the brief part we got in the first film to this one. And how crazy and psycho his character is, he plays it so freaking well. And I just love the evolution of the character throughout the film and how he goes from kind of like, I'm kind of a leader of these characters, and, we believe in certain things and that we gotta get reparations, and then by the end of the film, you're like, wow, this guy is really a fucking wackadoo, and something's gotta be done about him. And I think that it just played out so well, and Jack did such a great job of bringing that to life and give us that great performance that is just really entertaining, really felt evil, and just felt really authentic and really done well. And I just really enjoyed kind of his camaraderie with the different actors and actresses throughout the film. I think his scenes with Ralph Fiennes were really good too, and they really shine his dramatic chops and did a great job there, and I just think he did an amazing job. Now, if you haven't seen Jack O'Connell, definitely a film to check him out, and that I think is the only thing I really enjoyed about this film was his performance in the film, and he just really rocked it. And that, of course, is the film called Sinners. Yeah! Sinners. Yeah. So, if you have seen my Sinners review, you know I'm not a big fan of this film. I thought it was overrated. But Jack O'Connell's performance is absolutely phenomenal in that film. He plays the bad guy vampire so freaking well, and I absolutely love it. Just what he brings to it, it felt very authentic 1930s. It felt very much like an Irish settler. It felt very good. And it just felt like he played just an amazing villain that you just really hate. And at the same time, you're kind of rooting for him because he plays it so well. And I love the evil that he brings to the character and just how well he brings to life what that character is about, and he just played it so well and gave us a really phenomenal performance. If you haven't seen Jack O'Connell, definitely check him out in Sinners. He was really phenomenal in it. But overall, I thought that he was really fantastic in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. He just was a really great part of this film that really made it fun and enjoyable. And I think that he just was a really great character that was fun to watch throughout the entire film. If you haven't seen Jack O'Connell anything recently, go check him out in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. He did a really fantastic job. So that brings me to the final actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film. And that actor is a great actor that's returning to his franchise 20 plus years later. And last time we saw him was in the very first 28 Days Later film. And we get a brief part with him in this, and he just is absolutely epic in this sequence. And that, of course, is Mr. Cillian Murphy! Oh yeah, Cillian Murphy! Woo! Cillian Murphy! Yeah! Oh my god, Cillian Murphy is such a freaking fantastic actor. I mean, from Red Eye to Peaky Blinders to Oppenheimer to pretty much anything he's in, he is always freaking phenomenal. And Cillian just really brings his characters life no matter what they are. Even if it's a small role to a big role to whatever it is, he always plays it so freaking well, and I absolutely love his acting. He just always really brings it. I think he plays great villains. I think he plays great heroes. I think he plays great everything. He just is a phenomenal actor that I love watching no matter what he's in, and he just really brought that greatness to this small role that he had at the end of this film. And it was so epic to see him return as his character from 28 Days Later and just see where he has been in the last, 28 years. And he just really gave us this really phenomenal performance that really starts us off to bring us to the next film, which is going to be really epic with him back in it. And he just was so awesome. He was so fun. I loved it. I thought he brought a really great representation to that character and kind of where he's been and kind of where he's at and how much he's grown in the years up since 28 Days Later happened. And he just really plays the character so well, and it was just really fun to see him play this character again. Now, if you haven't seen Cillian Murphy in anything, definitely a great film to check him out in, which is another Danny Boyle film that he absolutely is freaking awesome in. It's a great 2007 film called Sunshine. Yeah! Sunshine. Yeah! I can't tell you how much I love this freaking movie. It is one of the best space disaster films, Save the Sun thing I have ever seen, and Danny Boyle directed the crap out of it, but Cillian Murphy was so awesome as his character. You're absolutely rooting for him throughout the whole entire film. You enjoy every second he's on screen. He delivers, he gives us dramatic elements, he gives us action, he gives us a little bit of comedy, he gives us heart. He gives us everything in this film that is just so freaking phenomenal, and he is so damn good in it, and I can't exaggerate enough that definitely this is a film to check out for Cillian Murphy because he is so awesome. Not only is he in it, but he has such a great ensemble cast that helps deliver this film. That's just a really great sci-fi save the world film. I mean, Chris Evans is in it, Michelle Yeoh, many others too, that are just amazing actors and actresses that all bring to life these characters, and Cillian just rocks it in this film and is so damn good. If you have not seen Cillian Murphy in anything, check him out in Sunshine. He was absolutely phenomenal. But he was phenomenal also in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Can't wait to see him in the next sequel. He is so freaking awesome, and he just was so phenomenal in this. If you haven't seen Cillian Murphy recently, go check him out in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. He was absolutely epic. So what is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple about? Basically, the premise of the story is we have the doctor who we were introduced to in the last film, and also Jack O'Connell's character and his group of misfits that end up coming across Alfie Williams' character in the film, and basically kind of their two stories intersecting, while at the same time the doctor is basically figuring out a way to basically bring these zombies back to normalcy, to bring them actually out of the zombieism and make them human again. And as the movie progresses, we see one of the alphas start to be cognizant again and all that kind of stuff. And basically the premise of the film is kind of Alfie Williams' character trying to survive, and then, you know, the Doc trying to figure out a way to help save the world. And it's basically about, you know, them and kind of how their stories intersect and kind of what happens. It's a really well done film. I really enjoyed it more than the last one. I was really impressed with this one. I really thought it was fun, fantastic, and overall a decent film. And I think that it was just a really well done film. I give this one 7 out of 10 Goldie Movie Boxes up. I think it's a really fantastic film. I think it was enjoyable. I think that it's definitely something I'll probably end up adding to the collection, and definitely worth a watch. It definitely is a decent film that I think adds to the franchise. If you haven't seen 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple yet, highly recommend. Go check it out in theaters now. Worth the watch. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been here before, don't forget to check out any older or new videos you've not seen on yet. And also, shout out to my subscribers, new and old. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. But if you really want to help the channel out, please check out my Patreon page, where once you become a member and you end up becoming a member, or you decide you're thinking about doing a membership, you get access to all kinds of extra accoutrements you don't get here on my YouTube channel. Plus also, you get to pick a movie every month that I get to review just for you on my channel. So definitely think about that. Check it out. Maybe help out the channel. As always, catch you next one.